First session. Now, computer-based testing is where we utilize computers to administer tests, to administer proctor testing. Okay, so now this is a new approach to testing, and it's affecting how instructors, university instructors, we could say, are developing assessments, developing test items, because by its nature, computer-based testing could support multimedia contents, video contents, even in our exams. Okay, it's very easy to include those multimedia contents in an exam. So the way we develop assessments is completely different now. And following these assessments, CBT exams and the LMS systems that we utilize for this have a capability to easily provide you with report data that you can easily take actions upon. You can extract patterns. You can group students based on their performance on the assessments that you just run. And ultimately, following these reports and considering the insights that instructors get, they could alter their teaching approach and ultimately empowering students in their learning path. Okay. Again, computer-based testing is basically an approach. It enables instructors to again come up with a learning path that is specific to students based on their performance. Okay. In terms of efficiency, computer-based testing is resource efficient. Basically, even somehow, in case it is applicable, instructors could run exams remotely. Okay, and remotely without compromising security of exams. Okay, utilizing certain technologies, or maybe maybe putting some proctoring approach during those exams. Okay, and whatever we do, whatever we act upon following the results of CBT, okay, it is evidence-based. Okay, so collecting or coming up with patterns following an assessment in case of paper-based is very difficult, and sometimes it's not even feasible. Okay, because we have a lot of students their results are in paper, and encoding it to come up with such patterns would be very difficult and resource intensive. Okay, but in case of CBT, these are basically readily available. As soon as we run and complete a given assessment, we can have the reports for use immediately. Okay, so it eases the way we collect and interpret assessment results in case of CBT when we introduce CBT. Okay, so again, following this, when we use computer-based testing, there are a few core components that we should consider. Okay, one is we are talking about automated tests. Okay, so instructors would prepare their exams using certain formats, put them in these LMS systems, and this is one area of effort that instructors are expected to do. And then once we run a computer-based testing, scoring would be automatic. Okay, scoring would be automatic, and feedback for students would be immediate. Okay, so as soon as they submit their results, they could immediately see their results, and even not just grading, but actually feedback. You were so following your results, instructors could put prior feedback in each exam items, and then students, as soon as they submit, they could get this feedback immediately. Okay, and again, as I mentioned earlier, CBT supports multimedia contents. You can narrate audio content, and then you can conduct assessments on your students following this audio content. Okay, and if applicable, testing could be dynamic. So if based on their prior performance, students could be directed to certain group of questions and skip certain group of questions again. Okay, based on their performance, based on their answers to prior question items, or exam items. Okay, so this could be, for example, in our case, might not be appropriate because we are expected to provide the same exam for the same class students. But when we deliver communal courses that are targeting community, maybe we can target such a kind of approach in our education, in our assessment approach. Okay. So yeah, and Moodle basically is a computer system, LMS system, that will enable us to do this. So what are the key principles or things that we should consider for an effective computer-based testing? Okay, one is security. Okay, so maybe we have a question bank and we extract questions randomly. So in this case, we should have adequate number of items in our question bank so that the randomness would be actually would make sense. Okay. The other thing is we comply to certain standards for accessibility purposes. So maybe our students, in our case, for example, in university environments, maybe we provide them a lab environment where they take exams. But in case they are taking exams from anywhere remotely, they could be taking their phones, mobile devices, tablet devices, various different screen size devices. Okay, so if we were developing these items that are not compliant to certain standards, that would be difficult for some students to take these assessments. Okay, so accessibility standards and adhering to those standards would be considering those would be very necessary. Again, intuitive interface would be important. Easily for students should be able to easily operate. They should focus on their exams, not on the how to navigate the exams, not on the LMS system. Okay, so and this is a very important issue because digital literacy is observed very poor in our country and our students. So this would be a very interesting concept to consider in our preparation for computer-based testing. And scalability. So maybe this is a matter for providing infrastructure by the ICT people. But yeah, as an instructor, we should know earlier. We should know how many number of students can take a CBT at a given time. Should they take it concurrently at the same time, or maybe should we plan a different approach? Okay. Otherwise, for this, the ICT people can introduce new can introduce approaches. They have mechanisms to alleviate such challenges, but given the infrastructure limitations, any instructor should be aware of these things when planning to conduct CBT. Okay. Yeah, and of course, the way we develop CBT items, question items in our assessment, maybe we could follow, based on our earlier discussion, Bloom's taxonomy principles. So we should, and we don't have limitations in CBT. We have like more than 20 different types of question items we can develop. Okay, multiple choice questions, short answer questions, interactive questions, video-oriented questions, picture-oriented questions, and of course colored picture or colorful multimedia contents we can consider. We can add 2D, 3D animations in our exam. Okay, so this is an opportunity we can leverage when we utilize CBT, and we should focus on the objectives of the assessment. Okay, we should make sure that we are actually measuring the intended skill of our students when we develop assessments, and validity and reliability is where we should. This is one principle we should follow. Okay. Continuing to this, there are various benefits we get out of CBT. One is again efficiency. So in terms of resource utilization, I think it's evident that paper-based exams, especially when we run assessments that involve hundreds of students, is very easily recognizable, and that's why national initiatives are involving CBT or depending on computer-based testing to run their exams, okay, including Ministry of Education. So that is one thing. And again, in case it is applicable, flexibility is another interesting benefit of computer-based testing. Students can take exams on demand, okay, not based on rigid exam schedules, but on demand. Maybe in our case, we could prepare mock exams that students can take at any time, whenever they need, whenever they want. Okay, so there is this flexibility. Again, of course, we can apply technologies such as safe exam browser that would secure the exam sessions, so students would not be able to navigate to various windows while taking exams. Safe exam browsers would prevent them to do that, to open files in that same computer. Okay, but again, I believe whenever we are talking CBT in higher academic institutions, we are actually talking proctored exams. So if these are proctored exams, safe exam browser and others would be an added value to our security measures. Another benefit running CBT is that we get a rich data. Okay, so we can actually go for to look at attempt patterns, even attempt patterns. Okay, if students were accessing our exam from a different IP address, from a different location, if there are attempts by different exam taker, okay, other than the intended student. So there are mechanisms we can control easily. Okay, even it's actually easier than controlling security of exams is easier in CBT than a paper-based, because in paper-based exams we see a lot of problems during exam sessions, but in proctored exam we can easily secure our sessions utilizing various security measure technologies. And interestingly, we can actually look sessions, CBT sessions, even after the exam session, okay? Because those exam sessions could be recorded, activities of students could be recorded, and we can actually look back and explore how students were acting during the exam session. Okay, what was the pattern look like? If we suspect a student has if we suspect any security issue, we could go for students' navigation clicking patterns and come up with interesting observations there. Okay, and CBT again advocates for personalization. Okay, so even to the extent that we develop learning paths for a specific student, okay, based on their performance. And this is a very, very interesting trend that globally it's getting traction, okay, following various research approaches, various research results. Okay, so this is a very high impact for to enhance education quality in general. So these are a few benefits of computer-based testing, and I believe this is yeah. So yeah, we would continue the next session in the next video.